Hi, what's up? Today I'm going to do a review of the Apex Pro 360 Plus. It's a jacket by Proviz for commuting, urban cycling, or whatever you want to use it for, I guess. But I think that's the most intended use. It's a new jacket, came out in the last month or so to replace an older one. I don't have any experience of the older jacket. I bought this because I've seen it being cycled around in London and I was impressed by its visibility and I wanted to give it a go. So without further ado, here's the jacket. As you can see, it's quite a glower. It certainly does shine, and that's going to be the main reason a lot of people are going to buy this. So I'm just going to do as quick a review as I can to go over some of the things about it. So first off, it has a shell jacket covered with all these reflective glass beads that give it the reflective quality. It's all over the jacket. Inside that shell is lined with a kind of cotton to give it, or laminated with the cotton to give it a softer feel. It's not crazy soft, it's quite a crinkly jacket. It's quite a thick shell, it's taped seams, it's definitely not letting any water through on the shell side of things. The zip, slightly dubious about, but yet to be really seen. It is rubberized in between the zip teeth. These bits on the other side are stitched kind of polyester with some, probably a DWR or whatever, a sort of waterproofing coat. How long that lasts, I don't know. Certainly pretty heavily stitched, which makes me slightly worry about its saturation, but I'm sure it's okay. Behind it is this storm guard. Again, it's just made of polyester material, and I think it would survive a downpour, but I think it might get soggy, and I think after time that might become a bit of a weak point in the jacket. I would have preferred to have seen a zip like this on this pocket, which is the classic shell all the way up to it with a rubberized teeth covered coating that when you unzip it, it opens, and when you zip it up, it's almost like it's not there. And that pocket's quite generous. This pocket on the front has the same as the main zip, but it doesn't have the storm backing to it, so I don't know how that will hold up, but it would definitely be large enough to fit a very large phone, the largest you can buy. So that's good to know if you are thinking about carrying your electronics and bits in this jacket, that it will definitely fit them. There's also a pocket on the rear. It's a pretty big pocket. I'd say it's about 30 centimeters across. This is a size large, this jacket, with the opening being about 15 centimeters. It's lots of space in there. It's not compartmentalized, but that's there. And that's all the pockets. There's nothing on the inside. The collar is got microfiber, which is nice and soft. The top of the zip has the little zip hood, so it's not gonna really bite your neck. Be a little bit more comfortable. The wrists are slightly elasticated on one side. They have Velcro on the other with the same material that's used on the zips and stuff. Again, I don't know how that will hold up in time with saturation of water, but I'm sure it'll be fine for a while. The shoulders have a mesh on them to protect the material against damage from using a backpack with the straps. I think it's an odd choice to use this mesh. It is not adhered to the line, to the shell beneath. It is just two separate pieces sewn together. I think it's weird to sandwich that, because when water does hit this, it's gonna get wet, and then it's gonna kind of be stuck in there. And although that's a polyester material, that mesh, like swimming trunk lining, I think in colder London or any kind of cold weather, that is going to kind of just hold on to that water rather than just off it goes. Why they didn't use a thicker denier kind of ripstock or anything really. I think they wanted to keep that reflectivity going through the whole jacket, so they were like, let's use a mesh. But actually, well, who knows, maybe the mesh works. I actually haven't tried this jacket out in the rain, and I'm not going to be, because, spoiler alert, I am returning the jacket. I just don't think it quite lives up to what I want from a jacket. And for me, in the winter months and the dark months of city riding, for the way I live. Just to show you kind of why I think that, I'm going to put on this base, well, this mid layer. This is an Arc'teryx Atom. It's pretty slimline, and there's certainly a lot of tops you could put on that would be a lot more chunky. But I'm going to give the jacket the benefit of the doubt by having something a bit slim under it. This is also size large, but much more of a fan of the Arc'teryx's size of large, because you can see when I put this on, it's quite a trim, tailored fit. And I think that's one of the things that everyone wants to know when they're buying a jacket, is like, what am I dealing with here? I can tell you, I mean, I'm fairly average sort of build, I'd say. My chest size is about 107, 108. This jacket is supposed to go to 112. I feel quite snug in there. I'm not going to say it's too tight, it's definitely not too tight, but there's not a lot of room for maneuver. The Atom's a pretty modest thickness top, synthetic lining for filling, so it just squashes down, keeps you warm. With that on, I feel like this. Anything more on, I don't know how, I wouldn't want to put much more on than this. In the riding position, I feel like there's a lot of tension here, and a lot of tension here, and the sleeves are riding up, which isn't that comfortable, and also means that I'd need to have gloves that have quite a long cuff on them in order to stop having gaps, which can be horrible in the winter if you're getting rain and cold into there. It's not an awful fit by any means. In fact, it's quite, you know, it's a nice, it's a trim, cool, hey fit. But I think a lot of people want to know, like, okay, it's that sort of fit, I'll get a size up. And if that's the case, definitely get a size up with this. I think an XL would actually probably sort me out. I'd have a bit more length here, I'd have a bit more space here, shoulders kind of slightly before the end of my shoulder, you know. So even though I fitted into their size guide, they only give you one measurement chest to go from. I think that, quite honestly, XL would have been better for me. Now, the reason I'm not going to exchange it for an XL is because I feel like this is a bit of a hot box. They have put some vents underneath the arm, elasticated or whatever vents that they put under the arm, but they're not really there. They're very small. I can get 2 fingers into that then, and it's not opening even with my arm in the air. So I just don't think that that's going to release a lot of heat. There are vents on the back of the jacket up here, and you can fit about 4 fingers. I'm sorry if I cut my head off, but I want to show you this. I think though that the underneath of the jacket fits nicely. It's not too long, it's not too short. That's great. And you can adjust the elasticated hem, so you can make that a little bit loose. If I let that out, let's see. I let that out. It doesn't make a huge amount of difference. The jacket is essentially dictated by what's going on up here, and for me there's just a lot of tightness in these areas. They do say that the material has some sort of 4-way stretch or 3-way stretch or something like that. I don't think it really does. I mean, a lot of these materials claim to have breathability and stretch, but the reality is that this is going to breathe about as well as a plastic bag, and there's no stretch in there. That is a plasticated piece of fabric, however they make these things, but don't count on it being stretchy and having movement to go with you. This is a shell jacket, here are those vents I was talking about. You can get four whole 4 fingers up there, but I just think the material is so hardcore that it's just never going to properly breathe in that way. And so if you're looking for a jacket that's quite trim and tailored and really kind of like Cycle Pro style, but in a material that you would normally get urban commuter wear, then this could be it. If you don't cycle hard, but you kind of, but I think there's a lot more options out there. It's just really whether you want to go for that full reflective look. That's the selling point of this jacket. Just do bear in mind that in the daytime, of course, it's kind of an air. And in city lights, I found, well, taking it out onto my street in the centre of London, that it doesn't really reflect with urban environment lights. It's car headlamps that really make this baby pop. So if you were in a more rural urban environment, then I could see this being fantastic, because you could see someone from, you know, probably a good half-mile away or something. In the streets of London, I don't know, that you might not just do well with something in high vis and a few reflective strips on it. And as always, make sure you got your lights. So that's all I have to say about the jacket, really. I'm returning it. I think that you need to be aware of that. They don't do free returns and they don't do free exchanges. So if you are returning it, then you'll be charged $3.95. And if you're exchanging it, you will also be charged $3.95, because they want you to return it and just buy a new one. That's how they work. It does say that in the thing. I didn't see it. I think it's a little bit for a jacket of £140. They don't do that, but hey. And the only other thing is do check that they haven't got a code on, because they seem to have a lot of codes on, and I saved £20 on the jacket, so I got it for $119.99, and I'll be returning it for $115-ish. And I'm sorry it didn't work out. I wish it had. I love the reflectivity, but I think I value my sort of heat sanity and the fit under, yeah. But fit's different for everyone, so bear that in mind. Anyway, cycle safe and have a wonderful winter.